shout outs to them because it's not immediately clear if we're gonna be able to hold that bar through our old age. Like I don't anticipate doing that too much. Like,
So my daddy asked a good question. He said he got two kids that's old enough to vote who don't want to. What do you say to get them involved? Ooh-wee.
this is what I would do. If I was your dad, what I would do is I would pay some people to like go to their house, put a black hood over them like they kidnapped, and be like, "Cause you didn't vote, we took over the world last night, and now you're a hostage, and now you just gotta scare them straight." That's what I think. You gotta pull
Man,
like a V for Vendetta, and make them feel like everything lost because of them not voting, and then maybe that's how you convince them to vote going forward. I don't know, man, because it's a hard problem. It's a hard problem with people that don't vote, right?
yeah, I mean, and I think some of it, man, is I think so many times we make politics, and damn it, we're getting into this conversation. We're
Mhm,
supposed to be talking about Christmas music, but
mhm,
well, I'll,
mhm.
I'll say this quick, and then we can move on. I think so many times we make politics too national. And I think when you make it national, you can't point specifically to policy that impacts your day to day life, right? Can we,
Right.
in today's
I
day and
agree
age,
with you.
Roe versus Wade, with how the
I
Republicans
completely
prevent
agree with you.
student loan, and
Yeah.
but what we miss is these local races like school board, like
No, no. I
like city
legit so,
council.
Jeff, I completely agree with you because I think the thing, like, for your dad is, like, don't tell them about the big national
Right,
senator race. Tell them the judge that just locked up their cousin last week
right,
got voted into that position. The
exactly.
sheriff that decided to evict their best friend from their apartment
Yep,
got voted in last term.
yep.
The person at the education board that is increasing the taxes but not giving your kid the adequate education that they
That's
need
the
to move on in life got
that's the
voted in
yep,
last week.
yep.
And this is the problem with that is because you're right. People take the national stuff and they're
Mhm.
like, I don't care about that. But you get missing out because you're being impacted by a whole bunch of stuff,
Yep.
right?
And then the crazy thing about it is they will enact policy on the local level that impacts you, and then people will look at the federal government and say, well, why is my life not getting better, or why aren't things
Right.
changing? Because they don't understand that the reality of the change happens at the local level, right? With school
Exactly.
boards saying this book is banned, or this is what you can teach in schools, but you can't teach about the history of America. You have to teach this watered down version,
Right.
right? So too many people focus on the federal government for to be a change agent, when it's not the federal government, it's local elections that really produce the change. And that's why you have local electors running on, look at these potholes that I
Right.
got filled in your backyard. But
Right.
what they're not saying is that money came from the federal government when the Democrats voted for the infrastructure bill, but all the Republicans voted against it. But on the local level, people are able to say, look, we fixed this road or we built this bridge. And people go, oh, wow, look at what they're doing, when really
Right.
they didn't do anything for it.
No, Star just brought up a good point that she said she's in Louisville
Yep.
and a friend told her the judge who signed the warrant for Breonna Taylor is on the
Yep.
ballot.
Yep.
This is a way to ground these things,
Yep.
man. Like when you see these people getting acquitted, like they're judges,
Yep.
right? They're up for election.
I mean,
You need to
that black district attorney that failed to prosecute the officers. That's a
right,
local, that happens on a local level. And we sit around, and this is why Republicans have done a much better job of messaging. Like, Democrats focus on big elections, and it's boom, we will focus on that presidency year. But the
right,
Republicans have managed to gain more power throughout the generations and decades, because they have focused more of their energy on these mid-year elections that typically are lower turnout. This is
right,
exactly why MARTA has not been expanded in the state of Georgia, because the
right,
Republicans in leadership have purposefully put it Put that measure on the ballot in off-year elections when turnout is low and when more Republicans are likely to vote, because it has come out that Democrats don't vote in off-year elections or mid-year
And it's
elections. So,
crazy. It's crazy. Like y'all, like people just you need to vote and you need to get out of your mind that voting is every 4 years. Voting is every 2 years,
it's every
people.
two
Come on.
years.
And if you're really smart about it, it's probably quicker than that because of primaries and some of this other stuff that you need to
And
be woke about. You know
yep,
what I mean?
yep. And then understand that in states like Georgia, specifically, where, if you want to go back to this national conversation with Herschel in Warnock or Stacey in Kent, if neither one of them get to 50%, then we go to a runoff, which means we
Right.
have to turn around and do this
You don't
again.
have to vote again. It's
And,
your duty to vote, to keep voting, vote often, vote a lot, vote all the time.
and
Just get it in your mind.
I'm not even the guy that's going to say vote Democrat, right? I'm going to say
Vote.
vote,
Just
right?
vote, right?
Find
Like,
out the policies that matter to you,
right.
and then vote. But then if the person that you voted for to put him in office or her in office don't live up to what they said they were going to do within reason, then vote their asses out.